Well, how should we create this strap here? All we really need is just a polygon plane wrapped around the tire and that frame. So I think the way to do that is, well, remember when back here when we were creating these things, we used a polygon plane and then a solidify modifier? I think we can use a similar tactic here, basically using a circle, just a round edge, to get the basic shape and then extrude off of that to get the width and the thickness too. Well, let's give it a try. So I think for this, let's go ahead and choose that scene collection group up there so it pops out here. Let's go ahead and create a mesh circle right here. And what we need to do is move this back and get it generally in place. So I'll press RY90. I'll go to that side view and let's bring this up. And I want to scale it down and get it generally in place. So we're going to go around here. We're going to go right at the top of the tire like that. Maybe I'll press Control 3 to go to the left orthographic view. And let me go to wireframe here. So if we scale it down, I think this is the crossbar we want to wrap it around. And then here's the tire. I think we want it to be kind of like this, right? So that's generally the right place. Now, how do we get it the right shape? What we can do is let's press Control 3 again and go back to wireframe, and let's tab into edit mode and hit the 1 key for vertex select. And now what let's do is use that proportional editing tool again with the shortcut O. And what I'm going to do is just begin selecting these points, hitting G, and moving the point about into place, and then scrolling the mouse wheel out a bit to kind of move those points down. All right, so let's try that down here too. G, I'm going to scroll in a bit and move it, I think, up to here. Let's try this. About like this. Okay. Let's take this one as well and move it in. About like this. Now here, we could probably move it in like this to get kind of more tension here. Let's pull this one out and this one out like this. All right, so there's the basic shape. I don't think that's quite right in that this goes down too much. Let's grab this again and move this back up. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Okay, let's go to solid mode and just take a look at it. All right, it looks like we're coming through on the bottom here. This doesn't look too bad back here. And it looks like we could come up a bit here. Okay, so what let's do is select a point here, and I'm going to hit G and Z and pull down a bit, and then scroll that mouse wheel out just a bit, like that. It looks like we could add more tension back here, so let's maybe grab this one and press GZ, move it up, and expand the selection out like that. All right, so let's see how this looks now. I think it's looking pretty good all the way around. Maybe right in here, this could come up some. Let's try that. Let me just pull it up in the Z. Let me do that. There we go. Yeah, so let's say that that's about the right shape now. What let's do from here is tab back into edit mode and go to edge mode, and I'll just alt-click this edge. And what I'll do is just extrude. I'll hit E and X and extrude this way. And then I'll select that edge again and hit E and X and extrude this way. Now while we're here, we should probably do just a little bit more. I can alt-click between those two faces and hit G and Z, and let's pull this down, and I can expand or contract the influence there. Now let's come over here. Looks like I could maybe bring down this right here. GZ, bring that down just a hair. How are we doing over here? Looks like maybe we could bring this one out just a bit. Let me pull out like that. Up here, let's grab this and move this up. All right, I think we're getting there. Just a couple little adjustments around there. Let's see how it looks. All right, I'm going to go ahead and smooth this just to see. Shade smooth. Yeah, that's actually looking pretty good. So from here, what we can do, well, there are a couple things. One thing I'd like to do is take this edge and dissolve it. We don't really need that, so I'll press X and dissolve edges. And then the last thing we should do is maybe give this a solidify modifier just to give it some thickness. So let's come over here to the modifiers panel, choose solidify. Let's select it and apply our scale. Control A scale. Yeah, that helped just a bit. Okay, and then let's choose even thickness, and we'll click and drag in the thickness field here. And probably that's all we need is something like that. Let's also go down here and turn on auto smooth, and that helps there. And oh, let's give it a little bit more smoothing. Let's see if we can. That looks like a pretty deep angle, though. I don't know if we're going to be able to get rid of that very easily. All right. Yeah, so let's go ahead now and take this and apply that solidify modifier here. And there we go. Yeah, I think that adds just one more bit of detail to the overall back of the vehicle. I think that's pretty good. In addition, I had seen something on one of these. Well, this one has some extra pieces on the back. I'm not going to work on that. I'm not going to do that. But if we open up, I think this is one of the scale models, but it has some details on the back here that I might try and replicate. Let's just see. I think this isn't going to be perfect by any means, but if I select this, and let's select this down here, and I think all I want to do is just extrude out and then scale in. Oop. I still have my proportional editing tool on, so let's turn that off. There we go. That should help. So let's hit E and pull out a bit, and then I'll hit S and scale in. Something like that. And then I'll do the same thing up here. And it just hopefully will give it a little bit of detail on the back here and scale in like this. I don't know. Let's try it. What do you think? Just kind of gives a little bit of extra back there. I'm not sure. And we're to the point now when we're just going to have to begin kind of testing things out and seeing what works and what doesn't. So this may not work, but I thought I'd try. I'm just going to scale that back out just a bit. There we go. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. So you, of course, can make your own decisions as to what needs to be done there, but I just thought I'd try that. Add that piece of detail there. So I think what we're going to do is call the back of the vehicle pretty well done now. And what I'd like to do is now turn our attention back up to the turret and work on the machine gun up here. So that'll be coming up in the next section.